I ran a half marathon with only 30 days of training and it ended worse. Yes, I'm not even kidding, and to prove it to you, here's me at the finish line. Why I look like as if I had carried a backpack with stones in it, you will find out in this video. How did I run a half marathon with only 30 days of training? Well, I believed in myself.
To succeed, you must believe.
Nah, I'm just kidding, but it was a combination of hard work, good planning, healthy diet and dedication to achieve it.
Super.
In the beginning of the year I was just running around, didn't have any plans what I wanted to run this year, but then Top 4 Running came through and gave me the opportunity to run a half marathon in Berlin. I mean, I wasn't in the shape to do it, but I love challenges and I accepted it. And to make it even more challenging for me, I set myself the goal to run it under 1 hour and 30 minutes. Why? Because my watch did tell me that I could possibly achieve it. Sounds fair, right? With that I had to face 3 huge challenges. Number 1, the distance. I come from a running background and my furthest distance that I ever run was around 25 kilometers, but it was over a year ago and I haven't run a half marathon in a race format ever before. Number 2, my finish time. Don't get me wrong, running a half marathon is a huge achievement, but running a sub 1 hour 30 half marathon is a complete different story. Just to make it clear, in order to run a 1 hour 30 minutes half marathon, you need to run 2 10Ks in 42:50, each 5 km in 21:25, or each kilometer with an average of 4 minutes and 50. I know for some of you that might be easy, for me that's definitely not. Number 3, training days. As I made the decision to train for the half marathon, there were only 30 days left till the race. 30 days where I had to drastically increase my mileage, drastically need to gain speed, basically flip my current running schedule upside down. And since there's no magic pill that makes you run faster like Usain Bolt overnight, I had to make a game plan. Here's the game plan of how I ran my first ever half marathon with only 30 days of training. I needed to come up with a plan to somehow train myself to run 21 kilometers in under 1 hour and 30 minutes. Training needed to be as effective as possible because of the lack of time. Race day. If everything went as planned, I would then have to deliver my performance at that specific day. The first step that I did was to open Excel and have a look at my calendar. At that point, only 1 month and 1 week were left to the race. But since I planned in a 1-week taper, where you basically don't do any endurance training, I only had 30 days left where I could possibly train. I looked at my current training and to be honest, things didn't look that well. My furthest run this year was a 14-kilometer run, so you see where I'm coming from, so I started to build up my training plan from there. As I had to drastically increase my mileage, which I wouldn't recommend to do, I incorporated 1 bike session a week, just so that my knees and ankles don't have that much impact and to minimize the chance of injuries. My training plan consisted basically 3 different workout types. Easy long runs for overall endurance, tempo runs to get used to the faster pace, intervals to gain speed, and of course the weekly bike sessions which count to the easy runs. In order to function and recover well, my nutrition had to drastically change in the 30 days. Before, I was basically eating anything. Meat, ice cream, sweets, basically anything I could get my hands on. But for the 30 days, I changed to a vegan diet and cut off all industrial sugar. Why? Well, I did it once before when I trained for my 5K PR, where I cut off 45 seconds and made good experience with it. Feeling good, faster running, faster recovery. After completing the training plan, it was time to train. And to be honest, the first runs did really great and I slowly increased my mileage according to the training plan. The mileage increased, the workouts got harder, the runs got faster, and then it happened. I am injured. I just came back from my run and I have such pain in my knee. I can't bend it anymore without any pain and it just hurts. It just hurts. I really don't think I can execute my training plan that I made for this half marathon. I definitely need to make a break to see what's going on with my knee. I really don't know what else I could say. That will be extremely hard, especially with the sub 130 out. I thought I could handle all the mileage that I planned in, but I was wrong. It was too much. Too much for me, too much and too fast for my body. To be honest, at that point, I wasn't really sure if I was capable of running the half marathon. The pain was so worse, it was so hard to even bend my knee. I then went to the doctor who checked my knee and he told me that luckily there's no damage inside the knee, which was good news. Bad news, I couldn't train because the pain was so worse. 14 long days went by, no training, no runs. I just saw how the time passed by and I couldn't do anything. It's like seeing the train you had to take slowly but surely fade away in the distance. I tried everything. I literally tried everything to somehow heal my knee as soon as possible. Stability exercises, taping, the whole range. With only 14 days left for training, I tried to keep it as simple as possible while also as effective as possible. I did some easy runs up to 15 km and speed workouts. The only problem that I had was that I didn't do any longer runs than 16 km, so my fundamental endurance most probably is extremely fragile. What gave me a massive confidence boost were the speed workouts. I did a workout with 4 times 3 km at a 4-minute pace and I could run them fairly easily. I mean, if I could run 12 km well under my goal pace, then I might have a chance to do that over 21 km, right? With that in mind, race day was there. We arrived in Berlin. On Saturday we did a light shakeout run with the team, visited the Top 4 Running store where we had a look in the store, listened to a talk about mental performance and nutrition, and did a running form analysis, which I'm very proud about my results. After that, we collected our race gear, went to the Half Marathon Expo where we got our race bibs. And yet, another problem arrived.
Another one.
Once I received my race bib, I noticed that I got put into starting block F. What means starting block F? Because on race day there are so many runners, the start is in different waves. First the elite starts, then block A, B, C, D, E, and lastly F. Based on your personal best, you get put in the different blocks to runners that roughly run the same time as you. But if you don't have a half marathon time yet, like me, then you also get put into block F. That means you have to run zigzag around the other runners who are most likely slow. This is no disrespect to the runners, I'm very proud that you can run this distance, but I hope you understand what I mean. The problem with that, you don't come into a running rhythm and waste energy to go around other runners. But even then, I didn't discourage myself from achieving my goal. All I wanted was to run sub 1 hour 30 and I was willing to give everything I had to accomplish my goal. Race day. On race day, I woke up pretty early to eat something and just have time for myself to focus on the race.
On your mark?
The first kilometers felt great, really great. Almost like in training. I hit my split times, I ran the pace I needed to run, and I somehow managed to get into some sort of rhythm and try to run consistently. Everything was fine. Kilometer 1, 4:15. Kilometer 5, 4:15. Kilometer 10, 4:15. Kilometer 15, 4:15. But then I noticed how my legs slowly but surely got heavier and heavier. I needed more energy to lift my legs and I didn't feel that comfortable anymore. To a point where I had to stop running. The race was over, I lost. I came this far, 17 km at goal pace. I literally could see the finish line. It were just 4 more kilometers. I never had this feeling before. I felt dizzy, I felt ill, I almost fell to the ground. I was this close to end the run, but somehow I managed to keep on walking. I couldn't see what was in front of me as my eyes closed further and further with every step I took. I do not only look exhausted on the photos, I really was. But even in that situation, I had a positive mindset. I still wanted to finish the race, make myself proud about the work I put in before the race and also in the race. Quitting was not an option for me. I would rather crawl to the finish line than drop out of the race. That was the mindset I went with into the race and stick to it. Every step I took was combined with pain. I tried to jog, only realizing there was nothing left in the tank. I tried again and again and again, and then I collected all my energy that was left and jogged the last kilometer through the Brandenburger Tor to the finish. Final time, 1 hour 36:38. Yeah. It wasn't the result that I wanted, and at first I was a little bit disappointed about myself, but then I remembered to be grateful for the moment, to have the privilege to be here, to have the chance to be a part of it. I mean, I finished my first half marathon, I gave everything I had, and that's everything that counts. It won't be my last half marathon, and I will for sure not stop till I reach my goal of 1 hour and 30 minutes.